Hi, everybody. How is everybody doing? Welcome to Transgurus. We are here again this week.
Well,
Beautiful day, crazy day. Apparently, up north is very cold, and here is in Florida, it's pretty okay. Anyway, anyway, we want to discuss something called vision and purpose. And this is something that I think everybody has to have somehow, or that's why we're here for.
Mhm.
Um, would you want to start? Bobby, would you like to start?
Sure. Uh, it's always a tough assignment to figure out how to open with these comments because they're they're
Sure.
they're pretty profound concepts that we talk about, and of course, they all have a lot of deep meaning to us. And when you were suggesting talking about vision and purpose, it was funny. The very first thing I thought of is from a very old proverb, and it goes like, "Without a vision, the people perish." And this was a king talking about his kingdom and everything, and that has really become very deeply instilled into me that people need a vision or else they are floundering. And there's personal visions like what I dream of and think about for myself. There are visions we can have for our business or our company or our family or our neighborhood or our community. And I really try to work very hard at developing a vision. And then when it comes to purpose, that's was um, what Mark Twain was saying, that two most important days in your life are the day you were born, and the second one is the day you figure out why. And that was that was about your purpose, and that really is the whole crux of the matter. Is what is our purpose, and that can be really tough decision for a lot of people to come to. And there are a lot of people that give hints to how to do something like that. And I'm sure you all got your favorite quotes and everything, but most of it boils down to, what are you passionate about? And what is it that really sets your soul on fire? What is it that really um, uh, fills you with creativity and vision and things like that? And so purpose may not immediately come forward to us, but I know, and it can change. It can change. The purpose that I had in my 20s and my 30s is really different from the purpose I have now, that there are more years behind me than there are ahead of me. And so you get a little more focused. Let me just put it that way when I think about that. And so those are just some of the things that I've learned, is that you really have to identify your passion. What really do you long for? What change do you want to see? Um, and how can you do that? And um, oh, what's the saying go? Chase your passion, not your pension. uh,
like
and if you do what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. And there's all of those kind of little sayings that pop up all over the place. But the main thing is just figuring out, first of all, what are you really passionate about? What is the change you want to see in this world? And then how are you going to become that change? And vision and purpose go hand in hand with all that. So back to you, Ella.
Yeah, absolutely. Vision and purpose is like um, horse and cart or marriage or whatever. Love and marriage. So it is part of the thing. Absolutely. Jimmy, would you like to go?
Sure, sure. So welcome everybody. Good to see everybody tonight. Uh, I love what Bobby said. Chase your passion, not your pension. That's so true. When I speak to younger folks, I always ask them, what are you passionate about? Like, when you're with your friends, what do you talk about? So that's the clue to what your occupation should be. Um, Humans to have a satisfied existence, a fulfilled existence, need three things: something to do, something to look forward to, and something to love.
Mhm.
And vision and purpose are the mechanisms, the modalities that allow for that to happen. I think for a trans person in particular, I had a vision for myself many years ago, and I didn't quite know how I was going to realize my vision that I had for myself, but I held my vision dear, and then I got out of my own way, and I allowed the universe to work behind the scenes to create the person that I am now. And not in a million years could I have sat down with a calendar or a crystal ball and schedule or manifest this person that I have become. And for our vision, I think it, um, in the 3D world, you get things done by sheer horsepower. In the higher dimensions, we get things done by thought. And so have a vision for yourself, hold that vision dear, and then allow a tremendous amount of wiggle room for the universe to manifest that reality. And I read something actually this morning. Uh, have a vision for yourself, but allow a tremendous amount of wiggle room, because the what the universe is going to manifest and what you think you're going to manifest may be two totally different things.
Yeah.
The person that I am right now, in a million years, I would never dream that I would be this person. So I guess the bottom line is have a vision for yourself, hold that vision dear, work daily to mechanically strive to achieve that vision, but leave the universe a tremendous amount of wiggle room to work behind the scenes on your behalf to help you create this person that you desire to become. And and also, the person that you think that you're going to manifest may may um, may fall short of what the universe has in store for us, Ella.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really incredible. I'll come back to it. Your turn, Raji.
My turn, my turn. Wow. So I think every single human being on the planet is born with purpose. And sometimes we have to figure it out. Some people seem to know it at a very young age. Other people, it takes a little time to figure out. Um, I think that life unfolds in a way that oftentimes it leads us in our purpose. So, for me, as an example, I received, when I was in high school, I received the Humanitarian Award from the Philadelphia Federation of Teachers. I got this award, they chose me, and not too long ago, a few years ago, I was going through some stuff and I came across my high school cap and gown and like some of the awards and my diploma. And it struck me. I said, oh my God, these teachers saw something in me that at that point I hadn't really seen yet. I mean, as a high school student, I was volunteering at the American Red Cross and the United Way and the community hospital in the summer. And it was just like in me to do. Of course, we got credits for it in school, but it was just something that I love to do. But I didn't look at myself as like, I didn't see myself as like a humanitarian. Obviously, they saw that spirit in me. And all these years later, I thought about the journey of my life. And God, I mean, I have truly, in many ways, been in that capacity. I was with American Red Cross for 10 years and did a lot of humanitarian work through them, but wasn't thinking about it, just was doing my work, surviving, but getting something out of it because it filled me up. Even with my creativity, because I'm a very creative person, I oftentimes use that as a vehicle to do my activism and my humanitarianism or humanitarian work in the world. Um, I think it is so important for every one of us to try and key into what your purpose might be. Because I always say this, like, if you don't have purpose, you really don't have life. You're not really living like optimally. You know, it's more like you're just existing as opposed to like living life. And the purpose and the vision go hand in hand, like hand in glove or white on rice. Because when you have a purpose, then you can create a vision in your mind as to how your purpose may manifest. Also, I want to say stay open and being flexible in the sense of you have a passion, and maybe, like, for instance, let's say you love art. From a little kid, you always like you drew, and the pictures you draw are beautiful, and you want to be, you want your art to be in museums, and you want to be a famous artist. Well, you know, some people that might not happen for. However, you can still live your passion by being an art professor in college or an art teacher at school and still do your art. And who knows, maybe one day you might even be long gone. Your art will end up in a museum or in a gallery somewhere. And it's amazing because these things are our legacy. Like when we do things in the world, and oftentimes, like, those are the things that you leave behind. And I'll just close with this and send it back to Ella. I was at an art gallery years ago, and I was admiring this picture, and the one of the workers came over to me, and I said, "Oh my God, I love that picture." And they said the artist had just passed away. And in that moment, I said, "Wow, the artist is no longer here now." And they weren't like a famous artist like Picasso or Leonardo da Vinci, but here it is. I was enjoying their work, their creation, and they were gone. So it's important to tap into your vision, to your purpose, and then create a vision in your mind and just work towards it. Ella?
Yeah.
You were looking at his legacy or her.
Yeah. I was looking at his legacy.
Which is a really great thing to do. I have to say that vision and purpose, it's really interesting because throughout my life, I mean, I've got I've got kids, and I've see how they develop. And some people, and it actually they are a little bit, um, let's say, a good example of different people, even if they are brothers and sisters. One of my kids, you could see from the beginning, he had a vision from the first day what he wanted to do. And he always followed that vision. He's very successful at it. I mean, he has incredible. Another of my kids was completely the opposite. He didn't know what he wanted to do, but somehow things turned in his way. And he found his vision. myself, when I was young, I always had a vision of myself, pretty strong one too. But this vision probably changed a little bit with the time. And I'm glad it did, because somehow my purpose and my vision, they were all adapting, always adapting to the core, the business, really the core always stayed the same. But I was always adapting to my new life. And actually, to tell you the truth, when I transitioned, it was kind of everything came to place much easier. Yes, vision and purpose. We all have a vision. We all have a beautiful purpose that we are following. And it is very important that we all find out what it is as soon as possible, because it will help you. But don't forget, it's not, I mean, you have your vision. Sometimes you have to, just fine tune it to what it's, what's going around. And because it's so important, it's really a very important part of you, just to fine tune yourself to your environment, to your growth, but always have a vision and always be faithful and follow that vision, and the purpose will come by itself, because you know why you're here. It's not always, not everybody knows it, but you have to, by finding yourself, you find yourself and you find your purpose and your vision too. I do believe that, I mean, in some religions, like for example, Hindu religion, everything, people think about reincarnation. And reincarnation is a very useful thing, because every time you come here, you are supposed to have a different, I'm not sure, but you're supposed to have a different, you are here for a reason. I mean, it's just not because of, nothing. There is a reason you're here. I think that I'm here because I'm learning. I think I'm here because I want to give someone to other people. And that is my purpose. And I am very glad to assume it. That is, I think, the most important thing in life is to find yourself. And that is finding your vision and your purpose, With those words, I go back to everybody to,
I love what I'm hearing everyone say, but this is what I found. Our purpose finds us,
yeah.
and we have to understand. I think one of the traits that are necessary to evolve is patience. We got to be patient, because we have to evolve to the person that is going to implement our purpose. So just be patient, Ella.
Absolutely. Everything comes step by step. And don't let yourself go into crazy areas where you think that you lost yourself, because probably you didn't.
Yeah, a saying that comes to mind for me is make your mess your message. And I really do think oftentimes that's about our purpose finding us, because I know, because of the life I've lived and what I've gone through as a trans person, it's it's basically pushed me or moved me in the direction of more of my purpose, and that is my activism and my humanitarian work and my advocacy. So what Jimmy said is so true, and it resonates with me. That's so true, that we're our our purpose finds us in, I think, the life experiences and the journey that unfolds for us as we live this life.
I agree with you. Sometimes you don't really know what your purpose is, but you'll find out.
Yes.
Yeah.
But to do that, you have to
That-
open yourself.
Yes.
You have to open.
Oh, sorry.
Bobby, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, I'm just really loving this conversation. And, you know, it reminded me of so many, you know, famous people that have really kind of distinguished themselves talking about the importance of purpose and what it's meant to them. Uh, there are just so many artists, like Raji was mentioning. I remember Ralph Waldo Emerson, you know, one of America's great gay poets, um, said that your purpose in life is not to be happy. That's not your purpose. Your purpose is to be useful, to be honorable, to be compassionate, and to leave this world in better shape than you found it. And what that really does is it kind of fine tunes the distinction between happiness and joy, uh, because happiness can be kind of short lived until the party's over. But when you are doing things and being an influence and you're treating people honorably and with compassion and leaving your world and their world in a little better shape, then that those are the kind of things that fill you up with joy and purpose. And so the other thing that I was thinking about, and we talk about it a lot, and I hope we always will, is gratitude, because gratitude helps you see everything that you've got to work with. And your purpose kind of congeals that stuff into a plan of action. And um, Stephen Jobs is somebody I pay a lot of attention to, because so many people, when we were in high school and college and in our 20s, you know, we dreamed that we were going to change the world. And I learned that I can change the world for one person a whole lot easier than I can change the whole world. But Stephen Jobs is one of these people that did change the whole world. And so when he speaks, I tend to listen to what he had to say. And I had to go back and find this quote. It says, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. This approach has never let me down, and it has made all the difference in my life." And I was just thinking that that is exactly what we do when we live a life of gratitude and we can see all that we're surrounded. It's behind us, it's all around us. And that's where the dots are that allow us to put together a plan of action. And something that just really kind of profound that happened to me in the last week and a half, is just with the people that I've met and the organizations I've become a part of, and I'm a big activist in my state, um, and you know, I'm one of those unfortunate people that live in a red state where there's all kinds of really anti-trans stuff going on, and so
Me too.
I I am just trying to. I want to make it like it was before they decided to pick a fight with us 3 years ago. It's like we have built all this beautiful stuff, and I want to bring it back. It shouldn't be outlawed. It's great medicine. It's great mental health care. It's a great life, and so that's one of the passions that I have. It's like I have worked really hard for 10 or 12 years to develop the medical and mental health capacity in our community and connect families and people with all the resources. And it's just been a glorious place to thrive as a trans person. And then for a bunch of people, I'll save the adjectives, uh,
Come on, come on,
uh,
come on.
that to just destroy all of that. and say, oh no, we don't think that ought, we don't think people, if that's what makes you happy, we don't think you ought to be happy. And it's like, oh, okay. So, but anyhow, what's happened with these different organizations I'm with a state political party, with the largest human rights pack in our state. I'm on their board of directors, and just recently I was I was made the chair of a fund that's got over $3 million in it, and it's like, what am I going to do with that? And all of a sudden, it was like all of these glorious things just started coming together. Well, it's like I can do this and this, and I'm trying to take back the state. I'm trying to make it like it was. Uh, only, not only do I want to make it better, I want to improve the attitude and the concept of transgender people along with it, because this hate and hysteria has just totally gone off the rails. And so that's something I'm really passionate about. And what do you do about that? And it's like Raji says, it's like all of these pieces just started assembling, and the next thing I know, it's somebody saying, "We've got a $3 million budget. Do you think you can do something with that?" And it's like, "Well, hell yeah, I can." And so we've been real busy trying to figure out how to do this, and I'm working with the state Democratic Party and all of this stuff and the blueprint, and I'm real excited. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's a plan, and it's a purpose, and it's a mission, and I have a vision. It's very doable because we've uh, well, I don't want to get too much into politics, but it's like, how do you flip a state legislature? And that's hard work. So anyhow, those, when we talk about vision and mission and purpose, all of those things were like Stephen Jobs. It's the dots were behind me. And so it's like, oh, I need to grab some of this and some of this and some of this, and I can make all of this happen. And so, like next week, I'm speaking all over the state. I'm going to be driving 1,000 miles and never leave my state next week, and I'm really excited about that. So I just want to leave it at that. So you can have passion and purpose and vision and gratitude, and that makes it all come together.
It does.
I have to say, Bobby,
Right.
I understand exactly what you're talking, but I travel a lot, and I travel a lot to very, very, I mean, I live in a red state. I travel a lot in many, many red states, and I see the difference between what the people that I know, and many of them, they are really rednecks. They are really, but they are really wonderful people with me.
Yeah, I used to be one of those too, but my hair's over my neck now.
But they are really wonderful people too, and they accept me and many of them, they knew me from before. So it's not that I'm trying to hide what I am. They have been pretty okay with me. I was just in Lubbock. I mean, can you imagine Texas, the middle of Texas, with people that I've known for many years, and they were just absolutely wonderful,
Yeah.
Wow, that's one.
Ella, that's because you're okay with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
all these battles that we're talking about are happening. The world, the world is a traffic jam.
Yes.
Okay, you can be in the traffic jam, or you can fly above it.
Correct. Yeah.
You choose.
You have to travel. You can be you have to above.
You can be in the traffic jam, or you can fly above it.
And you have to because
we have that choice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very often I have someone I know, and he came to me and he did name me and everything.
Oh.
And I said, that's your problem. That is not mine. And that is probably the only once that really was really a little bit tough. But I just said, look, you think what you want. I want to live what I want, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. And
your issue, not mine.
That's the thing I'm picking up on. It's because we have discovered our purpose. We have discovered vision. We have found joy and happiness, and we have stepped outside of that. And there's a whole lot of people that are very, very envious of that, and they have they have got so much turmoil going on inside of me. And when you tell me you were treated that way, I can guarantee you that person is carrying around a lot of pain over the resentments they have about their own body, the poor decisions they've made, the relationships that they're stuck in. And to see you out there thriving and breaking all the rules and having like magic in your life when they don't, I think I think that encounter that you have is going to have some influence a few days or weeks in the future for that person, because sooner or later they're going to realize that it's what's going on inside of them that they're all upset and been out of shape with.
I just like to tell something, and then just before our last round, vision and purpose, it's yours. It's not dictated by others. It can only be yours.
It's an inside job.
Correct. Absolutely. And with those words, let's go to the last round. Jimmy, you go ahead.
Okay, so I think I mentioned this in a previous podcast. Several weeks ago, another trans girl, Marion, and I went to Key West.
Mhm.
And some of the seemingly random conversations that we had with people, we went to the center of the universe. And I remember telling Marion, my takeaway from this trip to Key West was we're talking about purpose. The purpose of the purpose of life, is to help others find the purpose of life.
Yeah.
Ella.
Bobby?
Oh, well, I am just finishing up my 49th year as an educator, and what Jimmy is saying is what I love about being an educator, because I'm not ashamed to say that I am a great influence on people. And it doesn't matter what age they are. I've taught every grade from kindergarten through 12th, every college level from freshman to senior, every graduate level from master's to postdoctoral. I mean, I've worked with every age group you can, children to adults and well accomplished people. And I still believe that I'm a good influence on them, that I can help motivate them, I can help encourage them, I can help give them vision and purpose. And I just the only other thing I wanted to add was that the happiness and the purpose, I couldn't have done any of this unless I came to grips with who I am and what I'm going to do with about that. And being transgender in this culture is a very tough thing to do. But the alternative is to lie about who you are. And you just can't have the passion. You just can't accomplish the things. You just can't build the relationships if you're carrying around this big lie inside of you. And so that's the thing that I think is really fundamental to this whole conversation. You've got to be a real, authentic person if you want to be successful and having vision and purpose in your life. You can't fake your way through that and really have any kind of lasting impact.
Yeah. And we were born with a really special and beautiful karma, which is being transgender anyway. So you have to find yourself. Raji, your last words.
So I pray that every single human being would have this mentality. Every one of us, we were born into life, and therefore we have a birthright to be here.
Yeah.
Each and every one of us, we have a divine purpose here. And each and every one of us are walking miracles, from the King of England to the homeless woman on the corner. There's no one better than anyone else.
Yeah.
And I wish the world would know that, because we wouldn't have half the problems that we do. People thinking that they're better than others. We are all divine and we all have purpose. And I would like all of our viewers to hold on to that. Even if you don't know your purpose, hold on to the fact that you were born into life Therefore, you have a birthright to be here, and you do have a divine purpose, and one day you'll find it. And
Mhm.
I'll close with this. Where there's a will, where there's a way. There's more than one way to skin a cat. And this is, I'm going to end with a quick funny story. So I love dogs, and I had a dog growing up, Harpy. I loved him. He was cute. Just our family, he was one of the family. And so where I live now, they don't allow pets. And my real estate office told me get a goldfish. But anyway, and then I don't know if I really have the resources to take care of a dog properly, like the taking to the paying the vet fees and all of that. But I want you all to meet Blessings.
Oh,
Blessings. And let me tell you, Blessings is the cutest thing. He is adorable. And he even, let me see if he'll say something. Blessings, come on. Say something. He's not saying anything. Why aren't you? Oh, yes. Yes, say hi, Blessings. Say hi. So the moral of this is, things have a way of manifesting, and sometimes it's in ways that you least expect it. Right, Blessings? Right? So anyway, I'm passing it back to Ella.
Anyway, Raji, you just had your birthday a couple of days ago. So congratulations again.
Thank you. This Blessings is a birthday present.
Okay.
Yeah. Someone gave me this, believe it or not. I didn't buy it for myself.
Anyway, it's a blessing. Anyway, yeah, but I just want to finish that you are what your inside tells you what you are, and not what other people tell you what you are, because that is life. And that's the only thing. And everybody finds their own way. Sooner or later. They all do. And harder or easier, Anyway, with those words, and wishing you all a great weekend and see you next week. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for subscribing. My God, we've growing and growing and growing like hell. It's beautiful. So with all those words, I like to tell you bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Namaste. Namaste.
Namaste. Bye.